Hey guys, it's Hilary. I'm here with Nikki and Brian from Silversun Pickups ahead of a 91X session. Hi, you guys.
Hello.
So we were just trying to remember the last time.
Let's talk about everything we just talked about. but
Let's
do it better.
to recap.
Dude, much sharper.
No, but I was going to say, I think the last time you were here, was it when you opened for, or you played with Third Eye Blind?
Oh.
Was that it?
Yeah, it had to have been, right?
Okay, because
Probably.
that was a really fun show.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
And
Yeah,
if I
good
remember
time.
right, Nikki, we were in like your
boy.
vision. We were sitting right, like you were kind of straight out from us where our seats were. And at one point between songs, you go, "Hi, Chris," and he
Oh, yeah.
freaked out. That
sounds
fun.
sounds like a true story.
That was so
That's not
Very controversial.
That's not fan fiction.
Yeah.
No, that's real.
Was I flirting with
yeah.
her husband?
You may have been a little bit, but it made us night. That was so good. That was a great show, though.
It's always fun when
Thank
we're on stage to let people know that we see you.
Yeah, it is fun.
That we're not Chuck E. Cheese automatons.
Right.
Like, hey, I see you there. There's audience members too. Like, we'll just like point people out, and I love doing that. And they always go, "Wait, you can see us?" I'm like, "Yes."
That's pretty fun, though.
We're all in this together.
I bet it makes their night, too.
Maybe.
So after that tour...
Sometimes it does. Sometimes they're like,
No, don't acknowledge
"This is not what
me.
this is not what I signed up for."
No.
We're here to see Third Eye Blind.
This
Right.
is not interactive. This isn't like a murder mystery. Like one of you
That
guys
might
is
be
the
a good
killer.
idea for the next Silversun Pickups tour
Murder,
after the new
murder
album.
mystery theater thing.
Yeah. Why not?
Hi everyone. Thanks for coming. And one of you. Look under your seats.
You're like, oh, I got it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the
We're
winner.
surprised.
If you are the murderer, please go see Easy Eric.
Is he going to hook him up with
Yeah,
a prize?
He'll tell you what to
I'll
do.
give you a Jersey sandwich.
There you go. Oh,
Right.
yes. A Jersey Mike's.
Jersey sandwich. What is that?
I had
What's
one.
a Jersey sandwich?
They're delicious. Okay, so after that tour, though, did you guys have any downtime, or did you go right into working on the new record?
Little downtime.
'Kay.
We toured after that tour.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we were still going and going and going.
that's a lot.
Yeah. Yes. At the end of it, it felt like a lot. I also broke my
You
arm.
broke your
I
arm
broke
on that
my
one.
arm. I fell off stage, broke my arm, had surgery, and then I started playing like a beetle.
That's very Dave Grohl of you.
Super
Yeah.
fine. It was
Yeah.
easy, but they gave me a flu shot in the hospital, and I caught the flu really bad.
No
So the
way.
ending of that tour felt like, okay,
You were ready to go.
Need
I
a
think
break.
I gotta go. I gotta go away for a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
We took the sort of normal amount of time off, but this time, unlike before, we knew who we wanted to work with right away.
And which is Butch Vig,
Yep.
the legend.
No, he is a legend.
He
He is. Everyone who I say, "Oh, Butch Vig did their new record," they're
Yeah.
like, "No way."
He's just the greatest guy.
Is
He's
he?
just a guy from Viroqua.
Yeah, he's really cute.
Yeah.
His family's sweet.
Awesome.
We love them.
And they've
I
been
like
friends,
hearing
like
that.
neighbors and friends for a long time. So it's actually
Right
working with
on.
him was just so great.
Neighbors
Yeah.
and friends of yours.
Huh?
Neighbors and friends of
Yeah,
yours.
he was just a guy from
Oh.
the neighborhood, and we knew him from
Oh.
other people, and so we just sort of knew him.
Okay.
You know, and which sort of led to me just texting him, going, "Hey, you want to make a record?" And he goes, "Sure." I'm like, "All right, well, here we go." I did a thing with Garbage, actually.
Okay.
They asked me to sing a song with Shirley on a Record Store Day song called "The Chemicals." So
I did
when I
not
went
know
in there
that.
and
What,
did
you
that,
didn't get a copy?
That,
I don't have one either. So don't
sorry.
worry about it.
I was waiting in line at 6 a.m.
I think I did have one, and
Very
then I had a copy, and then I think
You showed us the
Christmas
copy.
came up, and I was like, I don't have anything. Hey!
Oh, that's so
But
funny.
I had such a good time, and we already, I think our brains were already having wanderlust because we like to switch things up with producers, at least 2 records.
Mm-hmm.
And he was always a front runner in my head. And then when these songs started to come swirling around, they seemed to make sense sonically with what I was thinking. Like, Butch seems to be the right guy.
To work with him.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I already knew he was going to be a
Mhm.
blast to work with. But again, knowing somebody and like personality wise and just a friendly face from the neighborhood, the legend and all that stuff you talking about is something that wasn't really
Yeah.
in our brains.
Huh.
And it became pretty apparent when certain moments in the studio where you go, whoa. The quickness between him and his partner Billy Bush. It's like, wow, that's years of working together and having so much knowledge about these things. Like that happened in 5 seconds, what sometimes would take probably a day. They're just like,
Whoa.
hold on a second. Okay, now we're good. And wow. wow. And that
That's
kind of
so
speed, and Jackknife, who produced our last 2 records, also had that sort of speed. So we were already used to that kind of like, you better get on this, you better pay attention or you're going to get lost. But it's so helpful because it makes things, it gives so much more time to be playful with everything, you know, when technically things are happening in lightning speed.
Gotcha. It frees you up a little bit.
Big time.
Okay.
There's just more room to be like, and Butch is one of those guys like, let's go all the way with it.
That's cool.
It's kind of like, let's go all the way with it, and then we'll pull it back if we need to. Let's just not do it.
Yeah,
and then
he would
move forward.
he would want us to try anything. He's like, that sounds like a crazy idea, but let's go for it. Let's see. Let's see if it works.
There's so many times on the record which made me so happy when he'd go, I don't know what you, Brian, Brian, I don't know what you wrote, and this makes, I don't know what song this is. I don't know how to categorize this, but I love it. I'm all for it. Let's go further. It's like,
That's
yes.
so cool.
Yeah.
He's like, a lot of times we're like, I don't know, verse, chorus. And
Right.
we learn pretty quickly that we don't know what
We don't
those
care.
are. And then we accidentally
We're
hit
like,
those.
what are you calling the verse?
Yeah,
what are
there's
you
one-
calling the chorus?
there's one
We'll go
po-
with what you think.
There's one song where he goes, well, let's use the part that was formerly known as the bridge.
Well, I think that's interesting, even because I've only heard one song from the record. It doesn't matter why, but I think even that one has
Doesn't matter why
it's
you
a
heard it. I
Non.
knew this was going to happen.
Doesn't matter.
We knew this was going to happen. There's a song called Don't Know Yet, too, so we knew we were going to get in a whole,
That's
like,
pretty funny.
what are we playing next?
But
Yeah.
it's a non-traditional song structure. Like, it's the first time I heard it. It took 2 listens for me to kind of start to get it a little bit and like wrap my head around it, which I think is
Yeah.
so great. And it sounds like that was a product of
It's just
working
hard.
with you.
I think people who work with us know right away that we don't think that way. Like, we just think, here's how the song goes, and here's when it ends. And people go, when we have to intellectualize
Right.
it to somebody, I'm like, okay, song structure, fine. Lazy Eye is a great example. We're having to fight with that one, and I was like, well, what's the chorus? You know, people just think they're there. I'm like, but which part? Like, it's pretty linear, and then we explode, and that's just how it
Yeah.
works, and that's how.
Well,
yeah.
that one had been all messed up according to us because our producer had like said it in a traditional way.
He tried to get.
And
it
then
more
we got
traditional.
together after. We're like, we don't like this new way.
No.
And we
No, I couldn't
asked
do it.
Yeah, we're like, this doesn't work for us. Can we? Let's move it back to how we liked it.
It was one of those ones where when the person we were working with was trying to push us towards something, and I would sort of attempt it, and it made no sense to me. And I was like, well, then what? And that's kind of the bane, or that's how we work
Yeah.
all the time. And then people learn really quickly, like, oh, that if you're thinking of the song traditionally, I mean, I find it weird that people would want to think of
Yeah.
things traditionally, like, oh, that's a different song that I'm used to. And it's like, yeah, wouldn't that be?
what you want.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, it is good. It's absolutely
Because in our heads
good.
it begins, it has a middle, and then there's an ending. But that's why people are like, why are your songs so long? We go, we don't think they are. That's just how
Yeah.
they go. We hope they're not.
But it was such a pleasant surprise when Butch on a couple songs like, let's extend this part. We're like, what?
That happens to us.
Okay, let's extend it because nobody ever says that
Because
to
the
us.
first typical sort of thought that bands have when they want to like go, I don't want to work with people, because they'll be like, they're shorten your songs, things like that. Because that's the thing, like your
Right.
songs are too long, and everybody always comes at it like that, and that's a smart thing to do because you should self-edit, and but we tend to work with people that end up lengthening things. They go, well, actually, now that we do that, so it's funny,
I think that's pretty perfect, though.
Yeah.
It sounds like he was a great
He was a
partner
great
for
friend.
you
Yeah, he's
guys,
great.
and it was a really good experience.
It
He's a
was.
great partner for the world.
Did you feel like he, because of his technical prowess and who he is, which I guess you kind of said wasn't really in your head as far as like coming from a real fan perspective, but did you feel pressure to like bring your A game a little bit more? Like, dude, this is Butch Vig.
No different than
bring
anything
it.
else, to be honest.
I think
Okay.
we
I
always
don't
want to
know,
bring
that-
our A game
Okay.
because we're recording an album and we would not want it
Well,
any
you,
other
and
way.
you
But
guys
it was
are professionals, Nikki.
Well,
you guys, you're just.
I
who
think
you
you're
are
always
as
trying
people.
to, just because of you're part of the whole thing. And to be honest, we all have a different experience, because I think that might have been. In my head, I didn't think that was happening, but I think Chris mentioned that was in his mind. You know what I mean? Because he, everybody individually, there might have been in there, to be like, oh my God, it's Butch, because. But really, I think it's no different than any of the time, because you just don't want to. You don't want to go in there and be weaker. Weaker is a bad
Right.
word, but you just want to be ready for everything else that's happening around you, you know?
Mhm.
And so much stuff gets thrown at you, and you want to be prepared as much as you can.
Mhm.
Does
Because
that
if
make
you're
sense?
prepared before, then you're ready when change happens, and you can move with it instead of feeling like drowning in all this new information.
It sounds weird to
Mhm.
say, but you have to really prepare yourself for the fact that you are going to change everything.
Right.
Huh.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think what happens, especially back in the early days when you're playing songs for 4 years and you record them, you have such locked in muscles
Sure.
that you're not doing the song service because you can't shift them. So when you come in, you got to be as prepared as you can to kind of know what this is and know the energy of it and know how to play certain things, but don't get locked in enough where you can't, you know?
Mhm.
Don't make
Mhm.
it difficult to like chop an arm off or something. So be able to understand that everything that you set up before you got in there, none of it might happen.
It's a really good metaphor for life.
Oh,
feel like-
we found
Don't
one.
you think, Brian? Really, though, that's interesting.
Main camera, side camera. We figured it out. So that's it.
Brian
Right,
O'Bear,
we're done.
everybody. Yes, mic drop.
All right.
We don't want to drop it because
No, don't
No, it's
drop it.
expensive.
I was just kidding. Widow's Weeds
Every
comes
time
out
somebody does a
June
mic
7th.
drop, I'm always like,
Is
the
that
poor
right?
sound guy.
I know. I always think that too. Don't really drop it. Yeah. June 7th, right? Widow's
I don't know, but is
Weeds?
it?
That's what we're said.
That's
Yeah,
what it
that's what
comes
That's
they
what they
say.
told us.
Yes.
That's
okay.
what they say.
And then a tour to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to be here for Kaboo in San
That's
Diego.
right.
Yes,
Next time we'll get to see you
Kaboo.
guys.
Kaboo,
So-
which as we've
A
been
new
in
word
San
for
Diego,
us.
we've heard
We
that
love it.
said with many different ways.
Yeah, there's some.
A lot of vowel action.
Some people do the
Kaboo.
long the Kaboo. No,
Well, my family,
Kaboo.
half my family's Hawaiian, so that when you put a bunch of vowels together, they start throwing them around.
Oh,
Like,
right.
yeah.
Right. Maybe we need
We'll be
that
back.
Hawaiian pronunciation. Well, we can't wait to see you guys. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you again.
Thank
for
you.
being here
It's good to
for
see
your
you
time
again.
Call it out.
And
Call him out.
Chris.
Chris,
So
Chris, good to
excited
see you.
to,
Your lucky charm, my friend.
To play a couple songs. You're gonna do 2 from the new record and maybe
yeah,
maybe
little
maybe.
spoiler alert.
something.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian and Nikki Silversun pickups. We love them.
Bye.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
91X.